As I walked down the hallway toward my son's room, the soft glow of his nightlight spilled through the crack beneath the door. It was part of our nightly ritual. I always said goodnight to him, knowing he couldn't fall asleep without it. But tonight, there was a strange heaviness in the air, like the house itself was holding its breath. When I stepped inside, he was already lying in bed, his blanket pulled up to his chest. The faint light from the lamp on his nightstand illuminated his face, and I froze for a moment. Something wasn't right. At first glance, everything seemed normal. His tousled hair, his favorite dinosaur pajamas, the way he clutched his stuffed bear. But then I noticed his smile. It stretched too wide, unnatural and stiff, as though his face wasn't used to making such an expression. "You okay, buddy?" I asked, my voice faltering just slightly. He nodded slowly, the grin still plastered across his face. "Daddy," he said, his tone oddly calm, "check for monsters under my bed." I chuckled nervously, trying to shake off the unease creeping up my spine. "Monsters, huh? You're getting too old for this, buddy." He didn't respond. He just stared at me, that unsettling grin never fading. Sighing, I got down on my knees. "All right, let's see what we've got," I muttered, leaning down to look under the bed. That's when I saw him. My breath caught in my throat. Under the bed, huddled against the cold wooden floor, was my son, my real son. His face was pale, his cheeks streaked with tears. His wide, terrified eyes locked onto mine as he whispered, "Daddy, there's someone on my bed." My mind reeled, my body frozen in place. I couldn't comprehend what I was seeing. My son, my real son, looked so scared, so vulnerable. But if he was under the bed, then who or what was lying on top of it? I felt a cold dread seep into my bones as I forced myself to move. Slowly, I raised my head to look at the figure in the bed. It hadn't moved. It was still smiling, that same twisted grin stretching unnaturally across its face. But its eyes were wrong. They were dark, empty, and lifeless, like black holes that seemed to pull me in the longer I stared. "Daddy," it said, mimicking my son's voice perfectly, "don't you want to tuck me in?" I stumbled back, my heart pounding in my chest. My mind screamed at me to do something. Grab my son from under the bed, run, call for help, but I couldn't move. The thing on the bed began to sit up, its movements jerky, as though it wasn't used to being in a human body. "Stay here," I whispered to the boy under the bed. "Don't move." I bolted out of the room, slamming the door behind me. My hand shook as I jammed the key into the lock and twisted it shut. Whatever was in there, I wasn't letting it out. My son's terrified cries echoed from under the bed as I fumbled with my phone to call the police. My hands were slick with sweat, my fingers trembling so badly I almost dropped it. Before I could dial, the cries stopped. Silence. The kind of silence that wraps around you like a suffocating fog. I pressed my ear to the door, desperate to hear something, anything. For a moment, there was nothing but the pounding of my heart. Then faintly I heard it. A soft, raspy voice from the other side of the door. "Daddy, let me out." I froze, unable to move. The voice sounded like my son's, but distorted, wrong. Then I heard a faint tapping. At first, I thought it was coming from the other side of the door, but when I glanced down, my stomach turned to ice. Tiny fingers were creeping out from the crack beneath the door, clawing at the wood. The light flickered, casting shadows that danced unnaturally across the hallway walls. I stumbled backward, my breath hitching, as the voice from inside called again, louder this time. "Daddy, let me out." Suddenly, I felt a cold hand grab my ankle. I screamed, spinning around to find the boy, my real son, standing behind me. "Daddy," he whispered, his face pale and hollow. "It's not safe here." Before I could react, the door to his room slammed open with a deafening crash. The thing that had been lying on the bed was standing there now, grinning wider than ever, its black eyes locked on me. It stepped forward, its head tilting unnaturally as it whispered, "You shouldn't have looked." I grabbed my son and ran. I didn't stop, didn't look back until we were outside, gasping for air under the cold night sky. From the safety of the street, I turned back to look at the house. His bedroom window was dark, except for two glowing black eyes staring back at us. The door slammed shut on its own, and the house felt eerily silent. I don't know what that thing was, but we never went back. And every now and then, when the night is quiet, I still hear a faint whisper in my dreams. "Daddy, let me out." Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss the next chilling tale.